Welcome, and thank you for joining me for this 30-minute, fairly quick-paced Vinyasa flow that I created to help you with managing your strong emotions. It's perfect for lunchtime or right after work, or really anytime. Find a really comfortable seated position, making sure that your hips are firmly grounded and that you can feel them rooting into the floor. Floating your head like a balloon over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips, all in one straight line. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in for 3 counts, really feeling the air filling your stomach like a balloon. And then when you release, tighten your stomach in and really push all the air out. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose throughout the class like that. Remember to focus in on it. Now take your left hand and with the ring and pinky fingers, place them over your right nostril and close it. Now breathe in for 3 through your left nostril. Take your thumb and close your left nostril. Release your right nostril and breathe out for 3. Now repeat the same thing, closing your right nostril. Breathe in for 3 through your left nostril. Close both nostrils, release your right nostril, breathe out for 3. Close both nostrils, release your left nostril, breathe in for 3. Close both nostrils, release your right nostril, breathe out for 3. Continue on your own. Now release your nostrils and continue to breathe like in the beginning, breathing in for 3, filling your stomach like a big water balloon, and breathing out, propelling the water out through your chest, compressing your stomach back. Whenever you're lost or out of focus, just remember to come back to this breath, focusing on the cooling effect of the water coursing through your chest and your abdomen. Imagine the water coursing through your hips, and then back up through your body and through the crown of your head as you breathe out. Breathing in, feeling the water coursing through your body, filling your stomach like a balloon, seeping into your hips. And then breathing out, the cooling water rushes back up through your chest and out through the crown of your head. Continue to breathe in and out, cultivating this cooling influence, this sense of acceptance and appreciation for your ability to self-soothe. Now breathing in, expand your chest forward. Breathing out, sink your chest back and your head down with your chin toward your chest. Breathing in, repeat the same. And breathing out, come into a cat position as you're seated. Continue to move in this cow-cat positioning, circling if you like, making sure that your hips stay square and rooted to the floor while your chest circles forward and back, making sure to repeat on the other side. Breathing in, expanding your chest forward, and breathing out, sinking your chest down. Remembering to cultivate the water sensation through your body as you breathe in for 3 and out for 3. Now, take your right hand and place it on the left side of your head, stretching your neck by pulling your head very gently to the right, extending your left hand down to the ground. Now repeat the same on the other side, gently pressing your head to the left and extending your fingertips toward the right side, on your right fingertips toward the right side of you, and release. Breathing in, take your left hand and extend to the right, stretching your left side body, keeping your hips as square as possible, keeping your shoulders down. Breathing in and expanding your chest open, up toward the ceiling if you can. If you can't reach all the way, it's fine to lightly rest your right fingertips on the ground and just extend your left arm up to the sky. Release, breathing in, repeat the same on the other side, lifting your right arm up and to the left or up into the sky. Breathing out and then breathing in and expanding your chest open, melting it forward or up to the ceiling if you can. And release. Now come into a tabletop position by reaching forward and coming onto your hands and knees, keeping your spine as straight as possible, your knees at 90 degrees, and your hands directly below your shoulders. Now, doing the same cat-cow movement, breathing in, reach your heart forward, and breathing out, reach your stomach up to the ceiling, arching your back into a cat position. Breathing in again, melt your heart forward, extending your spine down to the ground into a cow position. And back up into a cat. Now, tuck your toes under your feet and lift your knees, keeping your spine straight. Feel this in your upper body and in your abs. This is bear position. Maintain a straight spine and then press into a downward facing dog. If you can't straighten your legs all the way, that's totally fine. Just keep them bent. If you can straighten them, use this opportunity to really cycle your legs back and forth, stretching your calves and your hamstrings, remembering to keep your shoulders relaxed and away from your head. Don't scrunch them up. Keep your shoulder blades as flat against your back as possible to support it and keep a flat positioning of the spine. And don't overlock your knees. Now, bend your knees and extend forward back into bear, then onto hands and knees, and then roll back sitting onto your heels, lifting your arms up on either side of you into prayer position over your head, extending and arching your back with your arms into cactus pose, and then reaching back up, sinking your hips back down onto your heels, placing your hands over one another on your knees, and then lifting them back up above your head. Again, extending your arms into cactus position, bending back slightly, lifting your arms overhead, and then coming back onto your knees. Now take your right foot forward and place it on the ground in front of you so your foot is directly under your knee. Reach your arms up and over into a low lunge. Your left knee should stay down, and you can keep your left toe tucked under your foot for stability. Place your left hand on the ground, right on the inside of your right foot, and extend your right arm up into the sky, breathing in. Continue to breathe in and out here, expanding your heart forward. Place your right hand back down on the ground. Extend your left knee so that your left leg is straight, and then extend your arms overhead into a high lunge or crescent position. Make sure that your knee stays over your foot. Open your arms into cactus pose, extending your upper back a bit. Back up into high lunge, and then reach your arms open and twist to the right. If you can't twist all the way, you can simply place your right hand on your lower back and focus on twisting using your inner abdominal muscles, just visualizing it. Come down again to lunge with your hands on either side of your foot, and then step back into downward facing dog. Reach forward into a Vinyasa, Chaturanga and Vinyasa, or if you're not there yet in your day, just lower down onto your belly any way you can, and then come back onto your knees. Take your left foot forward into low lunge and extend your arms up over your head, keeping your right knee down and your right toes tucked under your foot if you like, engaging your abdominal muscles and remembering to keep your hips squared. Now place your right hand on the ground on the inside of your left foot and extend your left arm up over you, twisting to the left, and really remembering to breathe in and expand your chest, and breathe out and twist a little deeper if you can. Place your arms down on the ground, straighten your right leg, and lift up into a high lunge. Again, remembering to keep your hips square as possible. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms into cactus pose, and bend back, extend back up. Take your arms on either side of you, twisting to the left this time. Breathing in, expanding your chest, relaxing your shoulders, making sure that your hips are still as square as possible to the front, and extending both arms back up in front of you, looking forward, placing your hands back down on either side of your left foot, and extending back into downward dog. Now walk your feet all the way up to the front of your mat, bending forward. Lift halfway up with your spine straight, then bend back down all the way forward with a slight bend in your knees. If you want, you can clasp your arms on either side of your elbows and just hang like a rag doll, swinging back and forth. Place your hands back down and really focus on rocking back and forth, placing weight into your hands and then feet, and then roll up slowly, one vertebrae at a time, breathing in deeply. And then breathing out with your palms in prayer position to the front of your face and in front of your chest. Breathe in and breathe out. Now breathing in, take your arms on either side of you, up and above into prayer position, and then bend down in front of you. Lift up halfway, and then step back into downward facing dog. And take your right foot once again in front of you with your left knee down into low lunge. Twist to the right with your right arm up again. Now lift up all the way into high lunge right away, breathing in, bend back into a cactus position and up. Breathing in, rotate to the left into a twist. Breathing out, rotate to your left so that you're facing the left side of your mat and your feet are facing out, and then bend down into a goddess position. Shifting back and forth, really opening up your hips as much as possible, and then, as it feels comfortable, doing a cat-cow position. This might not be comfortable because you're already really opening your hips a lot, so keep it in a comfortable range. Now, pigeon-toeing your toes a little bit. Extend your spine straight and reach the crown of your head forward and bend down all the way. Really stretching your hamstrings. Shifting to either side if that's comfortable. Making sure that your knees aren't locked, and extending your feet as wide as possible to get a good stretch. And taking your spine flat again, lift all the way back up, extend your feet outwards, then shift back to the right, back into a high lunge. Then lower your hands down on the ground, step back into downward dog, move forward into chaturanga and to a vinyasa, if that's comfortable for you, and back into downward facing dog. Then take your left foot forward, and we'll repeat the same on the left side, low lunge, taking a big extension to the left into a twist, then extending back up, breathing in into a high lunge, arms back into a back bend in a cactus position, and then extending back up, breathing in to a high lunge, breathing out, twisting to the left, extending your arms on either side of you, breathing in, extending your arms above you into high lunge, and then rotating all the way right with your feet extending outwards, sinking into a goddess position. Now take your hands on either side of your head and do some side crunches while you're in this lunged goddess position, really focusing on keeping your hips square and not moving your lower body at all, and only using your oblique muscles to move. Now pigeon toe your toes once again, and extend forward, stretching your hamstrings and being sure not to lock your knees. Try to reach your chest all the way through your legs, which really won't happen, but that's just what you should visualize. This is a prep for headstand, which I don't have, but hopefully doing this one day I will. Now wiggle your feet back up and extend your spine up all the way. Rotate back to the left into a high lunge position. And then place your hands down on either side of your left foot and extend back into a downward facing dog. Now extend back into a forward into a chaturanga. Lower down into an upward facing dog or a sphinx position. And then reach back into a downward facing dog, lifting your hips up, really stretching out your hamstrings. Lift your right leg up to the sky behind you, and then pull your knee forward towards your chin and place your right foot down on the ground, stepping into a lunge, lifting your right arm to the side and twisting, lifting up into a side twist, into a high lunge, and then taking your right arm back up and facing forward into a high lunge. Now reaching your arms forward, lift your left leg up behind you so that you are in a warrior 3 position. Now straighten up, bringing your left leg up in front of you at 90 degrees, and then reach back again into a warrior 3 position with your left leg behind you. Repeat this, breathing in as you lift your leg in front of you, and breathing out as you extend your leg into warrior 3. And the next, breathing in, breathing your leg in front of you. Now take your foot to your upper thigh or your calf muscle into a tree position, opening your hip. open your arms on either side of you over your head, touching your pinkies and your thumbs in the sky and then lowering them in a crown, a lotus crown on your head. Feeling the energy running through the crown of your head through your fingers. And place your feet back on the ground. Place your left foot into a low lunge. And then come back through downward facing dog or vinyasa, whatever you like. Now extend from downward facing dog into a chaturanga, back into downward facing dog, back into chaturanga, and lower all the way to the ground, taking a sphinx position. Lift up once again into downward facing dog and extend your left foot up, taking your knee toward your nose and placing your left foot on the ground in front of you, extending your left arm up into a twist with your right leg straight. Extending up in the twist already into a high lunge position with your arms on either side of you, and then take your left arm and raise it up above you, facing forward into a high lunge. Breathing in and breathing out. Extend forward, boosting your right leg up into the air behind you and your arms in front of you into a warrior 3 position. Breathing in, take your right knee forward in front of you, lift it into the air at 90 degrees. Breathing out, take it into a warrior 3 once more. And repeat this, breathing in as you lift your leg up in front of you into a 90-degree angle. And then back into warrior 3, breathing out. Now on the next inhale, lifting your leg up in front of you, take your foot to your upper thigh or your calf, and then extend your knee outwards, rotating your hip open so that you're in a tree position. Take your hands to prayer position, and then when you're ready, extend them on either side of you, up over your head, breathing in, and then taking your pinkies together, the right sides of your hands and the left sides of your hands together, but extending the rest of your fingers open like a lotus. Take a lotus crown and then lower it onto your head, feeling the energy from the crown shooting through the lotus crown into the sky. Extend your arms out, place your right foot down behind you, back into a low lunge, then extend your left foot back into a downward facing dog. Breathing in, look forward, breathing out, bend your knees and either jump or walk forward. Lift your chest halfway up, bend all the way forward, bending your knees, roll one vertebrae at a time up and lift your arms up and overhead into a prayer position and then down in front of you. Breathing in, remembering to continue to visualize water flowing through you every time you breathe in and out. Take your arms up and overhead into a prayer position and then extend forward with a straight spine. Place your hands on the ground in front of you, lift halfway up. Bend your knees slightly and step into a downward facing dog. Now place your forearms down onto the ground and extend into a dolphin pose. Slowly walk your feet up toward your elbows as far as you can, maintaining a straight spine and straight legs. This is another preparation for inversion. It really strengthens your core and your spine and your whole upper body. Now step back into forearm down, downward facing dog, then lower your knees and extend into a tabletop position. Coming into a nice, juicy cow pose and then lowering back all the way to your heels, rolling back forward onto your hands into a cat pose, and then sinking back into a juicy cow pose. Repeating this really making a wave with your body like water. Doing whatever feels good, either continuing the wave horizontally to the side or continuing to move forward and backward or in circles. Really feeling whatever you need to feel in your hips here to open them. Now come down all the way onto your stomach with your hands right underneath your shoulders and your elbows all the way against you. Slowly lift your chest up, and your head after your chest will lift into a sphinx position and then lower all the way back down. And then repeat this, breathing in, breathing out, lowering down, and each time getting progressively higher with your chest, engaging your abdominals to straighten your spine, and lowering back down. Lifting your right arm and your left leg and lowering down, and then your left arm and your right leg and lowering down. Repeat this almost flutter kick movement. Really feeling the engagement, not in your lower back, but in your gluteus, your hamstrings, and your abdominals. And then continue to do this quickly as possible, as long as it's comfortable for you. This is really good for strengthening your lower back, especially if you've been experiencing pain. Extend your arms back and up, and then release all the way to the ground, placing your hands on either side of you under your shoulders and pressing up into a tabletop. And then rocking your feet to the right side of you and sitting in a seated position with your feet flat on the floor in front of you, knees bent. Reach forward and slowly roll one vertebrae at a time down onto the mat. Move your heels in as close to your buttocks as possible while keeping your knees together. Now lift up your pelvis toward the sky, lifting your shoulders and wiggling them closer together underneath you for stability, clasping your hands together if possible into a bridge position. Focusing on keeping as elongated a spine as possible here. Engaging your abdominal muscles and continuing to breathe deeply in and out. Lower back down. You can either repeat this again, or if it's comfortable for you, take your hands on either side of your head and extend into a full wheel. Taking a deep breath in for 3, out for 3, making sure your feet are pointed forward and your knees are over your feet squarely, making sure that your upper spine and your lower spine are equally curved, being sure that no part of you is splayed out. Then tucking your chin in and gently and slowly lowering to the floor. Release all the way down. Then pull your knees toward your chest and tighten every muscle as tight as you can. Rock back and forth and then release. Place your left foot on the ground in front of you. Take your right foot up into the sky, straight as possible, but keep a slight bend in it. And extend and stretch your hamstring toward you, keeping your back flat on the ground, your shoulders on the ground, and just extending it as far as is comfortable. Take your left hand and extend the foot all the way to the left, really stretching your IT band on the right side of your right leg. Breathing in, take the foot back up. Breathing out, take your right fingers on your right big toe if you can, or just grasp your right foot or your right leg and extend the leg all the way to the left as far as you can, making sure not to rock all the way to the right. Extend to the right all the way as far as you can, making sure not to rock to the right. Then come back, place your right foot over your right knee, making sure it's not directly on your knee, and then lift your left knee up with your hands, pressing your right foot back toward you and keeping that right knee as perpendicular to you as possible. And this should really stretch out the outside of your right hip and your right buttocks. Then slip your right leg further down over your left leg into, I don't know what this is, but twist that positioning all the way to the right, all the way to the left, and look to the right. I hope you're actually watching this as I give you terrible verbal cues. Then come back to the center, placing your right foot down on the ground and extending your left leg up into the sky. Stretch your hamstring, really, really, really keeping your back down flat and your hips as square as possible, focusing on stretching the hamstring only as far as is really comfortable and not extending the knee too straight. Now, taking your left leg in your right hand, extend the leg to the right, stretching out the left side of your left leg. Breathing in, breathing out, bringing it back to center, and then taking the left big toe in your left fingers or the left foot in your left hand, extending the left leg all the way to the left, being sure not to rock all the way to the left, keeping square in the hips as possible. Bring it back up to the sky and lower it all the way down. Actually, my mistake. Lower it over your right knee into a figure 4 position, stretching out the left gluteus and outer hip. Pulling your right leg toward you to get a deeper stretch, but being sure not to do so in a way that hurts your knee muscles anywhere or pulls on your ligaments. And then you're going to slip your left knee down the outside of your right leg, crossing your knees over each other and shifting your hips slightly to the left. Twist your knees down to the ground to the right, keeping your shoulders flat on the ground and looking to the left. Breathing in and out of this deep twist, and really relaxing. Bring your feet up back to center. Squeeze as tight as possible. Squeeze every single muscle in your body, your feet, your legs, your chest, your stomach, your face, your arms, your shoulders. Breathing in and breathing out, release all the way to the floor into your final Shavasana or corpse position. And as you lay here, feel that cooling sensation that you've cultivated through the class, through your deep, continuous water breath. And feel how different you feel from the beginning of class, either for good or bad. You might have felt a strong release of emotions. You might feel a high right now. You might feel a complete relaxation. Whatever you're feeling, just note the difference from the beginning of class as you breathe in and out. Take a deep breath in through your nose for 3, and then release out through your mouth. And do that once more, breathing in and out, just releasing all the toxic energy that you've had in your day or your week or your month, and really feeling proud of yourself for going through this very quick-paced but soothing, self-soothing Vinyasa flow for you. Continue to breathe in and out naturally for the rest of the class. And then start to wiggle your fingers and toes, wiggle your knees, and roll to your right side when it feels comfortable into a fetal position. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And another deep breath in and out. Keeping your eyes closed, press up into a comfortable seated position. Placing your hands downwards on your knees and elongating your spine up to the sky. Feeling the benefit of all that you did for yourself just now. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Take your hands together in prayer position at your third eye. And bring your hands to your mouth and then down to your chest, opening your eyes and bowing forward in gratitude. Thank you so much.